Hello, my name is Rowan. Today I'm going to read you A Father's Pain. This is a charming story of a father telling his daughters the story of the youngest girl's birth. So without further ado, let's begin. Daddy, tell us the story again, the one where I was born, said a blonde-haired little girl with joyful eyes and a wide grin. Yeah, story, chimed her toddler sister, her thin red hair tied up like a little bush atop her head. Their father, peace upon his soul, never stood a chance as the two girls with bright blue eyes bored into his without mercy. Finally, his walls shattered under the pure, agonizing brightness of their pouts. Fine, he sighed. Yay! Squealed two happy girls. Their father drew them in close and started in a narrative voice. It was a cold, dark night. The moon shone brightly upon the trees in our front yard. The howls of dinosaurs could be, the oldest interrupted with a giggle. There weren't dinosaurs around then, Daddy, she told him exasperatedly. He winked at her. Are you sure? It is my story, after all, he chuckled before continuing. Fine. Instead of howling dinosaurs, a flock of alien spacecraft crashed in... There weren't aliens either, Daddy. No aliens, both girls laughed. He pouted. Fine. No dinosaurs or aliens. He checked to make sure his wife wasn't in the room. But there was a mummy with a huge belly. He swung his arms out to indicate the size of the room. I heard that, sounded the wife from upstairs. He gulped as his daughters giggled, imitating his gesture. The youngest one asked, Was it our mummy? Father and daughter answered at the same time. Of course, they promptly giggled. Pulling them in again, he continued. So there was your mummy with a huge, huge belly, and she was so tired. And, he spoke in a quiet, sneaky voice, she was also grumpy. His girls giggled, covering their mouths with their little hands to maintain this secret conspiracy. Anyway, Daddy, he pointed at himself to answer the youngest question before she could ask it, was very sweet to Mummy, and rubbed her tired, sore feet until they were all better. The youngest interrupted. But my foot's sore, Daddy, and she promptly rolled back and stuck her feet in the air. She lost balance, though, and rolled over into her sister. The blonde giggled and rolled into her sister, tickling her sides. Chuckling, the father pushed them apart and reeled them in again for the next scene of the story. Okay, girls, where was I? Feet! Mummy's feet were sore. Ah, yes, and Daddy rubbed them all better. But then we had a big surprise. And even though they'd heard the story a dozen times before, both girls sat up straight with wide eyes, full of anticipation. Mummy realized that our baby girl wanted to finally see the world, so we hurried to the car, and we drove as quickly as we safely could down the road, and we went to the hospital. The girls gasped. They didn't like the hospital, not one bit. No, they both said dramatically. Yes, we did. And when we arrived, Mummy had to ride in one of those cool wheelchairs. The two girls' startled eyes turned wondrous at the idea of riding in such a magical way. Wow, he chuckled. Yeah, it was really cool. And Daddy pushed Mummy all the way up to the counter where a nice lady pointed us in the right direction. And Daddy was really sweet and pushed her the whole way. But you went an elevator, Daddy, the oldest corrected, giggling. Shh, I was getting to that, he laughed. Daddy pushed Mummy all the way to an elevator which took them to the floor they needed to go. Then Daddy pushed Mummy the rest of the way. He puffed out his chest proudly. But Daddy ran over his foot. Both girls burst out laughing, their father chuckling too. Yeah, he accidentally pushed the wheelchair over his foot when they got off the elevator. He was trying to hurry so he could make Mummy comfortable. Because he loved Mummy, right? She spoke her question as a statement. Her younger sister just watched as the story unfolded between the two older people in the room, her eyes sparkling. Yes, Daddy loved Mummy so much he ran over his foot with the wheelchair so he could help her. Anyway, the doctors were quick to help Mummy get comfortable, and they got ready to help their baby girls see the world for the first time. The oldest girl giggled, smiling proudly. Mummy wanted Daddy to be with her when their daughter was born, though, because she was scared. The two little girls gasped in fright. No, the youngest exclaimed. Daddy sat down in a chair beside her and stayed with her the whole time. He ruffled her red bush of hair. Then came time for the little girl to be born, and Mummy asked Daddy if she could hold his hand. Daddy, of course, agreed. But not too long later, Mummy began squeezing Daddy's hand. He held his hand within his other, pretending to clench it in pain. The girls giggled in amusement at his stricken face. By the time it was finished, it felt like Daddy's hand was trampled by a herd of buffalo. He frowned, cuddling his hand, which was no doubt broken into minuscule particles of dust. His audience, however, broke into riotous laughter upon hearing their favourite scene. He pouted. It's not too funny, girls. Daddy couldn't hold his baby girl until his hand healed. It was torture. Then their mother walked in, her red hair tied up in a makeshift bun. Oh, darling, have you gone to the part where you fainted upon seeing our beautiful girl for the first time? The two girls laughed even louder. Daddy, you never said you fainted. That's so cute. Cute. The two girls rolled around, deeply amused by their father's blushing frown. I couldn't help it. I was so full of joy I couldn't contain it, he huffed. His wife sat down by him, hugging him with a smug smile. You couldn't contain it, so you fainted, dear. You've got to admit, it's a little cute. Humph. She kissed his neck with mischief. At least now we're all red in some way, like a matching set. He playfully shoved her away. Oh, whatever. Then he lunged at his daughters, chasing them around for a while. With any luck, their play may erase their memory of the truth. The next day. Daddy, tell us the story again. The one where I was born and you fainted. He face-palmed, then grinned madly. How about I tell you about the time Mama slipped on a banana? He heard a thud across the house, followed by his daughter's chorus of giggles. You'd better not, his wife yelled dangerously. His evil smile showed he either didn't hear or couldn't care less. Vengeance is, after all, sweet indeed. Lord Weasel has 54 stories on Fiction Press, and I've linked to his profile page below. There's sure to be something for everyone, and lots of his stories have the same very immediate, real qualities as this one. We upload a new story every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to us, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.